The following is a quick review of the coordinate plane. There's lots of things we can talk about with coordinate planes, but we're going to focus on quadrants. What are the different quadrants, points, and lines? First things first, let's talk about quadrants. When you look at the coordinate plane, again, this is a review for most of you. When you look at the coordinate plane, we have these two lines. These two lines are called axes. This is the x-axis. It goes side to side. It's a horizontal line. And this is the y-axis. This is the middle and it's called the origin. To the right is the positive x values. To the left is negative x values. Going up from the origin is your y values, the positives, and going down from your origin is your negative y values. The axes divide the quadrant plane, the coordinate plane, into 4 quadrants. We start right here where x and y's are positive, and we call that 1, and we go counterclockwise. So this is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. So any point that's right here, for example 3, 2, would be on quadrant 1. This would be 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so those are your quadrants, a quick overview of your quadrants. Now we are going to talk about points. How do points get on the line? How do we label a point on the line? Let's start with this point. Let's call this point A. 2, 3. When we write a point, we always write the x value before the y. So this point tells you to go to 2 on the x and 3 on the y. So you start from the origin, you go 1, 2, and then you go up 3. 1, 2, 3. So this would be point A at 2, 3. Let's do point B, and let's call that negative 3, negative 2. So start from the origin, count 1, 2, 3 to the left, and then go down 1, 2. So with this would be point B. Okay, so those are your quick overviews of how to plot points. Now let's talk about a line. 2 points always makes a line. 2 points always makes a line. So let's say we have these 2 points here. Let's call this A. Let's take a few seconds, pause. What is the coordinate for point A? Hopefully you got 3 on the x and 4 on the y. 3, 4. And let's make a point right here, B. Do the same thing. Pause the video. What is the coordinate for B? And hopefully you got negative 3, negative 1. Okay, so let's make a line right there. Let's make a segment. A segment goes from one point to the other and stops right there. A line will go on both ways forever. So this is called a segment, and we're going to see that in later units as we prepare for geometry. Now, that's a line. One thing I want us to focus on with lines today is the slope. The slope is asking you, how do you go from one point to another point on the line? Okay, so there's many ways to do this, but what you want to do is you want to figure out good points. And when I say good points, I'm looking for points that are right here on the edges where it's a whole number point. So 3, 4. This would be a bad point. This red point would be a bad point because it's between. So it would be about 2.5 and 3.5. We want whole number points. So I know for sure that B and A are whole number points, so I'm going to use them. How do I go from B to A? Well, I can go up. And slope, when we're talking about slope, we like to go up before we go over. So slope is always up, over, over, or rise over run. So we want to go up and over to A, from B to A. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the slope would be 5 over 6. So the slope of BA is 5 over 6. Okay, so let's go ahead and do another point. Let's make a point C right here. And I want it to have the same slope as BA. So let's say that, first let me write BA is 5 over 6. So I want it to have the same slope, so I'll make it have the same slope. Okay, so let's go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and I'll call that point right here D. So 2 points. The shortest way, the easiest way to make a line is figure out 2 points and connect them, and you made a line. 3 points are even better. That lie on the same line, even better. It's more precise. Okay, so that's our line. Here's a question. Do you think these lines will ever cross each other? If these two things were roads, do you think they will ever cross each other? Now looking at it, they're both going the same way. Do you think they will cross each other? The answer is no. CD and BA are two lines that have the same slope, and they will never cross each other, and those are called parallel lines. So parallel lines, I'm going to make a space for me right here. So parallel lines. In geometry, you're going to learn a lot of symbol. The symbol for parallel lines are just like a 11. Parallel lines have the same slope. Okay, so they have same slope, and they never cross. Now let me make another one. Let's say I had this point right here. Just make a random point E. And let me almost do the same slope as CD and AB, but this time let's use a slope that's the same thing, almost the same thing, but not quite. Let's flip it and change the sign. And your question is probably, how did I know to flip it and change the sign? You didn't. I just told you to. Okay, so let's just see what happens when you flip it and change the sign. So instead of going up 5, we're going to go down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we're going to go to the right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's call this point F. Let's check out this line. So now notice, see what happens. Let's make it red so we can see it better. So E to F, or orange. Okay. So now these lines definitely cross. And see if I can rotate this. And we have a certain way of rotating it, not quite the way I want to see it. We're going to stop right here. So today we learned about the quadrants. We learned about how to make points and how to define or call the points. And then we learned about lines that never cross, called parallel lines. And we told ourselves that parallel lines will always have the same slope.